Sucker blue. I want to overreact. What was that? This is going to be a good game. Not too shabby. The best game ever.
Hello and welcome to Hawks Recap. Game 80 has just concluded for the Blackhawks. Hawks coming into this game already eliminated from playoff contention due to the Colorado Avalanche winning their game last night. So even though the Hawks are eliminated, they still win tonight. They beat the Blues in overtime in a shootout by a score of 4-3.
So I got that going for me, which is nice.
Cam Ward in net for the Hawks in this one. Blackhawks deciding to sit Corey Crawford, who they had been riding for a while here, just trying to keep their playoff hopes alive. But with the Hawks being eliminated, give Crawford some rest, get Cam Ward back in the lineup. First game in a month for Cam Ward, but you wouldn't be able to tell from this game. Yeah, he gave up 3 goals, but he made some really stellar saves, and also including the overtime and shootout, he was fantastic as well. Basically, didn't look like he hadn't played in a month. After the Hawks' last game, Dylan Sikura got sent down to Rockford. He will be trying to help that team make the Calder Cup playoffs. Meanwhile, defenseman Dennis Gilbert gets called up to make his NHL debut tonight for the Hawks. Always a cool thing to see a guy make his NHL debut. Just an absolute huge moment in a player's career. I assume he probably only got called up for this game. We'll know in the coming days whether he gets sent down or not. That's my assumption. More of like an NHL tryout type of thing with him. But making his NHL debut, it's a little rough for him at first. Took a penalty early in the game, also whiffed on a shot. I mean, you just couldn't help but feel bad for the kid. All he wants is just to make a good debut. But credit to him, he stuck with it. He got better as the game went on. Remember his name come training camp next year. He'll be one of many defensemen really vying for a roster spot out of camp. The first period in this one was pretty good for the Hawks. They ended up out shooting the Blues 12-7 in the first, but there wasn't really a whole lot of really grade A opportunities for either team. Both goalies making solid saves, but nothing really too dangerous. And then with about 3.5 minutes left to go in the first period, Jonathan Toews creates a turnover in the neutral zone, gets the pass from Kajula, gets it to Kane, who's rushing down the side, and Kane just initiates showtime. Just an unreal backhand sauce to Toews, who's just driving the net, and Toews just redirects it in. Hawks up 1-0 going into the second period. That lead wouldn't last too long for the Hawks, though. 26 seconds into the second period, Vladimir Tarasenko with the puck, and he snipes it by Cam Ward. Ties this game up at 1. Nothing Cam Ward could do about that one. Vladimir Tarasenko is just way too good sometimes. It's infuriating because he's on the Blues, so I want to hate him, but he doesn't do anything dirty, and he's just so good. Hawks still playing good in the second period despite giving up that early goal. Both teams getting a little bit more opportunities in the middle frame. Both Jake Allen and Cam Ward making some really good saves in the second. But the Hawks would regain the lead 13 minutes in. Dominic Cahoon with the puck on the rush up the right-hand side, gets it in the zone, then puts on the brakes, pulls up, gets himself to the middle of the ice after not finding anyone to pass it to. He then spots Artem Anisimov driving the net and makes a savvy little play, just flicks the puck on net. Anisimov gets a stick on it, redirects it past Allen and in, and the Hawks have a 2-1 lead going into the third. Blackhawks had their only 2 power plays of the game in that second period, and even though they weren't bad, they weren't great. They got a couple of shots, but other than that, they just really couldn't get a whole lot going. It seemed like they would just fumble the puck at the inopportune moment, and then it would just get cleared away. They just really couldn't find a way to capitalize on them. The Blues would come on strong in that third period. They would outshoot the Hawks 20-11 in the final frame, but it would be the Hawks that would score first. 8.5 minutes left to go in the game. The Hawks extend their lead thanks to Dylan Strome making an absolutely fantastic little saucer pass to Spring Kane on a breakaway, and he just goes backhand to backhand top shelf. Oh my God, showtime, Kane. What a goal. I mean, seriously, if you need a reason to watch the Hawks in these final 2 games, even though they've been eliminated, That's the reason. Patrick Kane, one of the greatest American-born hockey players ever. That's the reason. You don't get to watch him forever, so take the opportunities while you can. You're going to be telling your kids, your grandkids, about this guy and just how good he was. So watch him. That goal would give Patrick Kane 107 points on the season, which would set a career high for him in points in a season. His previous high was 106, which he got back in 2015-2016 when he won the MVP that year. Remember, that was Panarin's first year in the league as well. Kane will not be winning the MVP this year, but he should get some votes. He's had an incredible season. Also, I forgot to mention, back in the first period, Jonathan Toews' goal, that was his 35th of the year, which marked a career high for him in goals during a season. His previous career high was 34, which he did 10 years ago. Nuts. I mean, he's never really been a guy that scored a whole lot of goals. You just remember his goals because he just scores them in clutch situations. He's just really good at that. Also really good at lifting cups, but not going to have the opportunity this year, but still good to see him setting a career high. Unfortunately, about a minute after Kane's goal, the Blackhawks decide to be naughty and break the rules, so they put themselves on a penalty kill, and we all know that's not a very good strategy. Blues take advantage of it. Perron scores and cuts the lead back down to 1. The Blues would pull their goalie late in the game, but it would look like the Hawks were going to be able to finish this one off in regulation and hold on. But then they fall asleep at the wheel with about 30 seconds left. Maroon throws the puck towards the crease. Cam Ward stops it, but the puck just kind of lays there. He doesn't know where it is. Tyler Bozak does, and he just kind of pots it home. We're tied going into overtime. In overtime, both teams have their chances. There's some decent looks, but both goalies up for the challenge. Nobody scores in the 5 minutes, so we go to a shootout. Now, I know a lot of people don't like the shootout, and there's a reason why there's no shootout in the playoffs, but for the regular season, it serves its purpose. Like, nobody scored 3-on-3 overtime in 5 minutes. Like, let's get this game over with. And if you think about it, like 3-on-3 overtime, when it was first implemented, was super, super exciting. Like, it was just back and forth breakaways. Now teams and coaches realize that it's just much better to just have possession and just wear out the other team. And that's exciting, but not nearly as exciting. So I think a lot of people's visions of 3-on-3 overtime are a little bit skewed because they remember those times and not really what we have now. So to the shootout we go. Jonathan Toews up first. He goes in and he scores. Kane would hit the post. DeBrincat would have the puck kind of hop over his stick. And then Cam Ward would just poke check everyone. Hawks win in the shootout, get the 2 points, and the win over the Blues. Overall, I'm happy with the effort from the Hawks. It's always tough once you know you're eliminated to put out a full effort. I mean, it makes it easier when you're playing a rival like the Blues. Like, that'll get you going. But even still, to go and play all the way through overtime and into the shootout and everything like that, I mean, you couldn't really ask for a whole lot more. In that regard, the Hawks have 2 more of these types of games before the season officially comes to an end for them. They get to play Dallas next and then Nashville, and that's, well, a back-to-back, so that's fun. And in terms of those 2 games, I know they don't mean anything, but like I said, this is the last chance you get to watch Blackhawks hockey until October. So take advantage of it if you can. You get to watch Patrick Kane. You get to watch Jonathan Toews. You get to watch Alex DeBrincat. You get to watch some really good players. The games just won't mean anything. But on the flip side, that means it's stress-free, right? You can just kind of enjoy it. So that's kind of nice. And now here comes the part where I sound like a really, really big hypocrite. Because I'm not going to really be able to watch these next 2 games. I will catch the highlights for sure, but in terms of Hawks recaps, I'm not going to be able to do them that night or the next day. They're going to be late, and when I mean late, I mean next week type of late. I'm going to be out of town for these next 2 games. I've known this since last summer. My Patreon superfans have known this for a couple weeks. So it's not like I'm just doing this like all of a sudden because the Hawks are not in the playoffs. Yeah, so I don't know. Let me know what you would like from those Hawks recaps because they're going to be so late. I don't know how I guess useful they'll be, but I don't know. Feel free to give me ideas. I'll do something with them. Not sure exactly what I'll do though. So with that, I'm going to say thank you so much for watching this episode of Hawks Recap. I really hope you enjoyed it. Let me know your thoughts on the game and the team's performance and the season in general. If you don't, watch the next 2 late Hawks Recap videos that go up, thank you so much for sticking with me this season and watching the recap videos when you could. I appreciate it so much. Feel free to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoy these videos. But most importantly, as always, stay safe, make good decisions, and I'll see you next time.